Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Friends Podcast, man. Thank you so much for joining us. If it's your first
Yes,
time, man,
sir.
thank you for coming through, man. We appreciate all the listeners, new and old, and in between,
hmm
man. So, my name is Matt, and I'm here with my co-host.
My name is Rod, and this is the Friends Podcast. Make sure you check us out everywhere. We're streaming on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. Also, make sure you check us out on our socials at the Friends Pod on Instagram.
Yes, sir. We're everywhere you can imagine. So tap in with us, whenever y'all get the chance.
hmm
But yeah, I guess we can get into. Well, actually, first off, I would be remiss if I didn't mention this. So we got a special guest in the building today, man. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's your guy. It's your man. It's your cousin from the inland, Scoop Ellington, the notorious, the glorious. What's going on, y'all?
Yes, sir, man. Ain't nothing,
What's
ain't nothing
good?
to it, man. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. But we definitely glad that you in here, so we can have this great
Dope rapper.
conversation. Yes, sir.
Absolutely, man. Thank y'all for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so like I guess just to even start off, like, so how would you describe yourself? Like, if you was introducing yourself to somebody, like, how would you, like, what kind of accolades would you put on it? Like, would you say this, that, or third?
I mean, ideally, I'm really just a human being, man, that puts relatable things together in rhythmic fashion, man. I'm here to basically talk about everything that we go through as black men, or just period, man, just the average person. It's not a whole bunch of glitz and glamour and none of that. It's more so reality rap.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, and that's definitely something I noticed about your music. Like, it's very relatable. Like, a lot of men can relate to it for sure. Like, dealing with these women and things like that. But
Man.
yeah, let's I think we should take it all the way back, man. So, like you said, you from the inland, from IE.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Just kind of describe, like, what is that like? Because I was trying to look on the map, like on Google Maps, like, oh, it's like LA is right here and IE
Yeah.
right here. So kind of like talk about like your upbringing and what is IE to you.
Yeah, so I mean, ideally, I'm from the Inland Empire by way of Rancho Cucamonga. Yes, it is
Okay.
a real place. No, it
Yeah.
isn't where Friday was filmed. Doesn't even look like that.
Uh-huh.
Ideally, man, of course, it's just one of those things. Of course, LA is about, let's say, about 45 minutes away from me west,
Okay.
in a sense, and that's where I technically was born. So like, I didn't move out of LA till I was about 2, and then we moved here. My parents just being good parents, in a sense, not wanting to raise me in that type of environment, based on, y'all know what LA is. You feel me? So we moved here, man, and I feel like it was a blessing and it was a curse at the same time, because yes, I necessarily didn't have to deal with the typical LA shit, but I did have to deal with a lot of like indiscreet undercover racism. Like from where I'm from in Rancho, obviously, I mean, it was predominantly white in the 90s. So, I had to deal with a lot of identity issues growing up as well, because it's like I have no representation as a black person here. I'm surrounded by nothing but white people. So you can
Yep.
imagine what that is, you know what I'm saying? Every
Yeah,
time
yeah.
Yeah.
some break, every time some go missing, every
hmm
time it was always me. It was always, it was them.
Hell yeah.
So, but I also feel like it was a blessing as well, because I also got to experience another side of being cultured, So like, I know about skateboarding, I know about snowboarding, I know about all that, and then on top of that, I still was spending summers in LA. So
Let me
I
pause
kind
you
of,
for a
yeah,
second.
yeah.
So what age did you move to the suburb area?
When I was two.
When
I've
you
been
was
out here
2?
since I was 2.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All
So
right. So that's like pretty much forever then.
yeah. Basically, I'm
Okay.
not gonna say I'm from LA or nothing like that. I had the opportunity, as I was just saying, to spend summers and breaks in LA. So I also got that street smart element, to where it's like, okay, you got to keep your head on a swivel, or you learn those type of lessons just being out there. So that's why I say it's a blessing and a curse at the same time.
Right. And I was gonna ask you too, because you said you spent summers in LA. I was gonna ask you, like, oh, so you probably have family that was still in LA. So like, where's your family based out of? Is just like Cali, or like out south, west?
Man, I got family everywhere, to be honest. Like on my mom's side, like my immediate family, it's a real small unit. So they live in like kind of like the West LA area, like the Jefferson area of LA. I don't know if y'all know where that is, but
Not for real. Nah.
yeah,
Nah.
like Jefferson and Smiley is where I kind of grew up, but I also had the opportunity to kind of be in the Crenshaw district as well.
Okay.
Like, over there off of Crenshaw and King. I had some opportunities to be over there. I also had opportunities to be in the jungles, Inglewood. I was kind of everywhere because I got brothers, that lived in different places in LA as well. So I kind of was everywhere within LA.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit more when you spoke on identity issues? What do you mean by that?
Yeah. Realistically, think about going to school with predominantly white people or predominantly Mexican people presenting as white, right? So let's say you're out of your graduating class, whatever class you're in, right? Say it's only 2 black people, right? And ideally, they kind of pit you against each other because only one of you could be accepted in the quote unquote cool crowd, right?
It's only one token.
It's only one. It's really only one. That's really it. So it's like me, I've always been somewhat of a cool guy, or just, somebody that can be accepted, versus the other person, to where I was always that. But again, I don't have direct representation of myself. You feel me? So I want to be exactly like them. I want to get my hair cut a certain way. I want to dress this way. I don't want my lips to look like this. I want to look like them because that's all I see. You feel me? So
what was that, like American Eagle or?
No, that was this. This is like the 90s, bro. This is like before any of that jumped off. So that's like the Lee pipe jeans and the skater tees and all of that. Like, I'm trying to convince my mom that I don't want no Jordans. I want some damn Osiris shoes. You feel me?
Yeah.
And she's like, them shit's ugly. Like, what you doing? So, it was just that, man. But I'm glad I went through it because, I got to experience that other side.
Yeah, man, that's super interesting too, because even when you would go back, and we're gonna get off this, 'cause I don't want to. This is not gonna be the whole thing, but when you would go back, to LA and stuff like that, would it be another just kind of like, damn, like another feeling of like, damn, I'm not accepted because I'm from, what I'm saying, that's where I live at? And
nah, it was always like, oh, that's Scoop, that's my cousin Scoop, but I can assimilate well. So it's like once I get back there, immediately I'm right back to that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm spending summers. So it's kind of weird because I'm spending summers and breaks. And if it's like more than 2 weeks, I'm developing an accent. I'm starting to talk like LA. I'm coming back. And now my white friends are like, why are you talking like that? Like, what do you mean axe? What do you mean cord or pork? Or, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, I'm just getting used to it because that's what I'm surrounded by. So it was never really an issue as far as when I went back, because I was always just, this my cousin, or, this whoever. So it wasn't really no issues.
So let's fast forward a bit to when you started rapping. When did that happen?
Man, it's kind of a long-winded story because like I can attest that when I first wanted to start rapping was when Pac dropped All Eyes on Me. And there's a record on there. It's called Got My Mind Made Up. I'm sure y'all have heard it.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of MCs. It's a lot of dope rapping on that record. But that was like my first experience with actually hearing bars. But I didn't know who was who outside of Pac. So, kind of to fast forward, Corrupt said a line on there, and he said, "I'm the greatest rhyme creator on both sides of the equator." And I just was floored. Like, bruh, how could you even think to say you're the greatest artist in the world that way? So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like real talk. Like I'm floored. So at that point, like I'm starting to pay attention to actual words versus just being a regular consumer as a kid, just listening to music. You know what I'm saying? Listening to beats. Okay, the hook is cool, whatever. But now I'm listening to actual words.
So your first introduction was Pop.
Yeah. My first introduction, really, realistically, I gotta give it to Corrupt because it was Pac's song. But I'm just listening to Pac because he's popular. You know what I'm saying? Like this what my older sisters listen to. You know what I'm saying? But Corrupt said that line and I was like, damn, like that's crazy. So now I'm paying attention to, oh, what did everybody else say? Oh, what are they saying on this? But I still don't have access to music like that. So, I had that album and I used to be trying to like make up my own little rhymes to it. So that was like the genesis of me actually, trying to rap. And then fast forward.
So why didn't you have no access?
I just didn't have I was a kid, bro. I was like, 8? So how am I?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like this is 96 at this point. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't have access to music like we got access now. And
Mm-hmm.
my older sisters was like the gatekeeper to having CDs, and they wasn't fucking with me.
Yeah.
I'm a kid, so
I
hell
had
no.
LimeWire.
Yeah, so I mean, we get there fast forward, but I mean, at that point, that's when I kind of started, and then like I probably say that was probably like 8 to 10, then like 12 is when I kind of stepped off the porch. My brother had came back from New York, and he was like the coolest dude I knew. You know what I'm saying? He was in the Bronx, so he come back and he like, yeah, this is what we do in the Bronx. We freestyle, yada yada yada. He throwing a beat, he freestyling, and I'm like, yeah, I low key could rap too. You know what I'm saying? So I bust a little bit, and he like, bro, you really rap? Like, yeah, I could rap. You feel me? So that's kind of where it started. But like, for me to be serious about it, because this is my first older brother, and then I got another older brother who was making beats at the time, but we don't really rock with each other. You know what I'm saying? Or at that time, we didn't rock with each other. So my brother is like, Link make beats, and I'm like, yeah, fuck him. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what type of time I was on. So I guess he went back and told my brother Link, like, yo, Scoop could really low key rhyme. And he kind of reached out and we connected like that. And that's how we got back cool over music. So I would say like maybe 13, 14-ish is when I started rapping. I know that's long-winded. My bad, y'all.
No, that's good. That was definitely a good
Yeah,
explanation.
we want to hear the whole story for sure.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. So like I kind of want to touch on something you said like about Corrupt, like he was on that Tupac record. Like, do you feel like that was one of your biggest inspirations, or even like is
1,000%.
now?
1,000%. Back then, yes. Like, man, I wanted to be Corrupt. I wanted to rhyme like Corrupt. Like I went back and I had to really, like, when I got deep into it, I went back to Corruption. I went back to Streets as a Mother, and it was just like, bro, nobody was really touching him because he's a hybrid. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's really from the East Coast, but he came to the West Coast and soaked up that flavor too. So it's like it's the best of both worlds. So I definitely would think he's one of my influences.
Okay, well, Corrupt was he was from LA, right?
Yeah, he's from originally, he was born in Philly. So he was a Philly dude, but then he moved to LA when he was like in his teens. So it was like he was already busting crazy on some East Coast shit, but then once he got hooked up with the right people in LA, he soaked up that flavor, and it was like a pot of gumbo,
Mm-hmm. And so where did it go from influences from there? Like, was it all kind of West Coast artists for you? Because I know you being from the IE, so you kind of spread around to other places.
Man, like I've always been real into bars, bro. So it's like, for me, I always wanted to go to like the mecca of it. So once I was able to actually develop like an actual taste for music and have access to music.
So what's the Mecca?
Man, you gotta say that's the East Coast, bro. Hip hop was born on the East Coast. Come on, man.
And the
Come
Bronx,
on.
New York.
I can't. Yeah, it's New York, man. We talking about the Bronx.
I want to make sure, because some people from California be like, we was like the Mecca of music for the most part.
Nah.
Some people don't believe.
Nah. It's not even about that. I feel like it's different genres, bro. So if you think about G-Funk and shit like that, yeah, that's the Mecca. Like it's the Mecca where the tastemakers of that shit. But if we talking about some just bars, real hip hop shit, bro, you gotta go back to the Bronx, man. Like you can't ever disrespect that, because without them it wouldn't be us. You know what I'm saying? And so many other subgenres, because without us it wouldn't be a certain other genres as well. But yeah, so it's I was heavily East Coast influenced, like early on. Of course,
Did you take a trip down into the East Coast?
Man, I've been to the East Coast, but I've never been to the Bronx, bro. I've never been to that little spot, where Kool Herc was at. I've never been there. I always wanted to go, but I was always just moving around too much.
Got you.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all, because I was having this conversation about like just like the beginners of hip hop, like the other day, and I think we all know Rapper's Delight by Sugar Hill Gang. Like, don't they consider that like the very first hip hop song?
Like,
Put on Wax.
I mean, yeah, Put on Wax. But if you go deep into like the origins of that, one of them, I think it was Big Bank Hank, was actually biting somebody else. I think it was Grandmaster Caz, if I'm not mistaken. So it was a dude from, like, I think that was on some Jersey shit. Like they had linked on some Jersey shit, but I think I don't know exactly where Caz is from, so I don't want to say he was from the Bronx or he was from Brooklyn. I don't remember, but I know that he was biting his rhymes, like somehow, some way. So they kind of attest him as like the Godfather. But if you think about like the origin of hip hop, they say Kool Herc started the whole shit in the Bronx by throwing them parties there. And that's where MCs would get up and bust, and then they would have like little park jams, and it kind of just expanded from there.
Got you. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I done heard a little bit of that story, but even just talking about rappers delight, like I don't know, old heads like to talk about how the new shit is fire or is trash, but the
Yeah,
nigga was talking about the hip. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so how do you feel about like rap back then versus rap now? Like, do you feel like
I
it's any comparison?
I feel like it's you really can't compare it because it's evolutionary. You know what I'm saying? Like I said previously, you got to take that to make it this, right? So you got to think about the type of slang that was being used or the type of things that was going on at that point in time. Like, wasn't nobody really trying to talk about no real life shit on no records. They was party. It came from parties.
It was from parties.
So
Yep. Yeah.
I'm not gonna jump on a mic at a party and be like, yeah, man, my bills ain't paid. I'm fucked up. Nah,
Yeah.
you gonna be, hey, put your hands up, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? So I think from back then, it started from, all right, man, it's a party record, and then you got Grandmaster Flash, who kind of came through with the message, and then he was talking on some crazy shit like, yo, it's not all sweet, it's not all parties, it's not all this. And then that transitioned into, everything else
Yeah.
coming
Then you get
down.
Ice-T, then you get NWA, then you get
Yeah,
gangster rap. Like, yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So without that, like, even with Ice-T, because he attests that to some nigga from Philly, that 6 in the Morning record, right? That's what y'all talking about?
I
Like the
never heard that
first.
before.
So the 6 in the Morning record, which was like Ice-T's breakout record, he attests that like he got influence from a nigga from Philly. His name was Schoolie D.
Oh, School
So
of D.
it,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, so it kind of all comes back to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to know where you been and know where you going. So I think it's a different time, and I can appreciate that, but it's like I'm not listening to it on a regular basis, but I appreciate where it was at to get it to where it's at now.
Okay, no, definitely. So let's get back into Scoop Ellington. I guess I want to talk about just the approach, and when you approaching your music and recording it and stuff like that. Um, I did notice that a lot of your music is, you be talking about the women a lot, and it's definitely dope to hear. But I just kind of want to see like what's your perspective on like your subject matter and the topics that you speak on. Like, where does that come from?
Man, it's a direct reflection of what I'm going through at that point in time, So like, I know like my previous records, I literally write them in real time. So like, if you heard Forget I Said Anything, I finished recording that record. I dropped it on December 4th. I finished recording that record in like November, like late November. So it's literally just a direct correlation of what I'm going through at that point in time. I'm not an artist that can sit on records because my attention span is just like that. So even though I got records that nobody has heard and they're new to y'all, if they're old to me, I'll be off it. So it's like, whatever, I can discard it or I'll release this later. But if I release an album, I directly was just going through that. You know what I'm saying? So like, that record was fresh, like fresh,
Yeah.
fresh. You feel me? Like, damn,
Okay.
this is what happened with that. So my next record may not have anything to do with women at all. Like it really just depends on what I'm going through at the time.
And I kind of wanted to ask, like, so even just the ways that you speak about women, like, I mean, come on, we all know that, like, we know rap music, we know
Yeah,
niggas be, bitch this, what I'm saying, like the way
yeah,
that
yeah.
dudes talk about women, like, what made you choose to like not
Uplift
do
them.
that? Yeah, uplift and just kind of talk about them in a positive
Yeah,
type of light.
you don't talk about like really breakups or anything. It's mostly like love for them and your emotions
I
and
mean,
towards them.
it's one of those things, bro. Like, I got a mom, I got sisters, I got aunties. I was raised by women, so I got a certain level of respect for women. But
They
it's
listen.
more, huh?
They listen.
Do they listen?
Yeah,
Do women listen?
like your mom and your sister. Do
Oh
they
yeah,
listen to your
yeah,
songs? Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, before I even drop, like, if I got a full project, I'll sit them down and we'll have a little listening party, and I'll get their direct feedback. Like, how do y'all
Okay,
feel about this?
that's dope.
Wow.
What, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like women are like my core fan base. realistically. And that's kind of, it's not a weird thing to say, but I feel like women will support you a lot more than men will because it's a competition thing. You know what I'm saying? Women are really silent promoters. You feel me?
Facts.
Like they, how many times have you jumped in a woman's car and you like, who is this? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
oh yeah, what I'm saying? So I noticed that. So ideally, I just make music that I feel, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes it resonates with women, sometimes it'll resonate with men. But
So that's purposeful?
and in regards to what?
Like how you make music because
Nah,
for women? Because
like I feel like I'm a personable guy, so I've never really had a problem with dealing with women, as far as getting my point across there. So it's kind of like I just create to create, and it kind of resonates. But who knows, man? My next project might be something totally different. It might be something that women like, oh nah, I ain't really fucking with.
Yeah. So like, kind of talk us through the process of forget I said anything, and before I forget, like just the process of just writing, like you said, it's in real time. But like,
Yeah.
what needs to come together for you to feel like this project is finished?
So to start with, before I forget, that was really just a project of me just coming back to music. Like my boy, M16 the Great, shout out to M16 the Great. He hit me in like, when we dropped that in 2021. So he hit me in like 2020, like barely at the end, like when 2021 was first about to crack off. And he's like, bro, I want you to drop a project. And I'm like, yeah, all right, bro. Like I'm always curving him. Like, all right, bro, I'm good for a feature. Like I'll feature on your shit, but I'm not really worried about that. Like I'm already trying to think of other things to do with my life other than music. I'm getting older, so I'm not really focused on that. And he like, nah, bro, like I want you to drop a project, yada yada yada. I'm like, okay, bro, for whatever. Like just get off my phone, right? So fast forward, as soon as the year starts, he hit me like with a pack of beats. And he was like, yo, studio session in 2 weeks. Don't waste my money. I don't have shit to record. Don't waste my money.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, well, let me just write these songs. You know what I'm saying? But it was really just, that project was me coming back to music. But I'm not necessarily dealing with the things that I'm dealing with in my personal life. Like I'm being personable about it. Like I speak about what had happened on some personal shit.
Mm-hmm.
But that first album was literally just, I was kind of unsure about, like, damn, does anybody care? Like, will anybody even listen to this? Like, you know what I'm saying? And you can hear it in my voice. Like, I'm really unsure, And then before I forget I said anything.
I thought the project was pretty cohesive, and it seemed like you put like a lot of thought. That's why I'm surprised that you're saying.
Yeah, nah,
And
it's
just off the whim, just how you felt, and the project seemed like it was in pretty good order.
Yeah. I mean, we did that as a team effort. Like there was
had
records
little excerpts, and you had like video kind of movie kind of things like that added to the beginning. It seemed like a project like you put a lot of thought into.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I didn't think you got through it that quick. That's crazy.
I'm a overthinker, bro. Like my whole thought, I think 10 steps ahead. You know what I'm saying? So when I made the intro, I already knew how the outro was gonna go. So if I kind of feel records in, and then when I'm done, or when I feel like I'm done, I got a team to where we'll kind of listen to it. All right, this is how I think that it should go. All right, well, you know what? Let's take this record and let's put it here, or let's do this. Like it's a cohesive effort, on my team's behalf, because I can't really give my credit for that, because it might have sounded totally different if they just left me to my own devices. So like when it comes to skits being added, that'll kind of be my brainchild. Like, okay, well, I wrote this based off of this particular movie or whatever it was. So I want to put that in to make that make sense. But how it flows, it's a group effort. It's like 5-6 of us that'll sit there for hours and think about how the listener should experience it.
Okay, super dope. Shout out to the team there. And
yes, sir.
And you mentioned the skits too. So was that M16 the Great that was on the intro and it just throughout the album, just talking about, hey man, like, we got to get this album. Okay.
Yes, sir. So
Super
that's
dope.
exactly how it went. Like that was really bro, I want you to drop this project. And when we drop this project, we got a plan for this, that, and the third. And I'm just like, all right, bro, yeah, cool. So you gonna narrate like your EP, all of these projects, and you gonna narrate them too, because this is real time. Like, these are things that are happening. So for the second project, man, I was coming, fresh off a breakup, bro. Like I didn't really know how to process it, and I didn't really want to talk about it, but I could talk about it on record. So that was like a very, very easy project for me to write because I was going through it. Like I'm in love with somebody that, it's a toxic relationship, but we can't really let each other go. But we can't be together. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I wrote from that perspective the whole time, but I could never paint her in a negative light, like you were saying, to be like, oh, she a bitch or, whatever, because that's not how I feel about her. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you didn't really hear any of that.
Yeah, it's not wrong with being in love.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I love love, man.
No, for sure. And then so let's kind of talk about the videos too, because we were speaking about you were talking about the visual aspect of it as well, and like so that's one thing that I did notice about your videos. It seems like it's very well put together, and it's like actual storyline. Like before, like I seen the one where you seen Shorty in the Mercedes. You're like, yeah, he was like, you ain't about to do nothing.
Right.
He was like, yeah, I'm about to go. You know what I'm saying? It was like one of them type of things. And so like, kind of talk about that process. Is that something like? Is it the team, or is like where's that idea for these videos come from?
Man, it's a team. It's a team effort. Like I'll come with an idea and they'll piggyback off of it, or vice versa. So like everything that I do, I feel like it needs to be cinematic. I think about movies all the time. So my visuals need to feel like, an episode of something, or a movie or whatever it is. So I'm going to try my best to make it seem that way. So I don't want to just shoot a video of me just in a video rapping. Like that's cool, but I want to be as cinematic as possible. So like the dialogue and cutscenes and all that, that's normally me, but it's just, like I said, a derivative of real life. Like me and my man's being in that car, that's a real life situation on a regular basis. I'm sure y'all done had conversations like that with y'all friends. Like, bro, you ain't finna talk to her. Stop it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Watch this. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that was just me pulling, reality into my art.
Got you. And so let's kind of talk about that time in between, because I did notice that you dropped Do More, Try Less in August of 2012.
Yes, sir.
And so like in between that time, between Do More, Try Less and Before I Forget, like what was happening musically? Was anything happening musically at all?
No, bro. No, nothing was happening. Nothing, man. It's like I'm just being real, bro. Like I have a love-hate relationship with music. Like I love it to death, but sometimes, it don't love me back. Or if it loves me back, I don't want to love it back at the same time. Like it's one of those situations. So like when I dropped Do More, Try Less, that was literally just me getting tired of people like, oh, you rap? Like you don't look like you rap or whatever, or let me hear something. I can't stand that shit. I can't stand it. Like, come on, bro. Like, you feel me? So that was just me getting a point across. Like, bro, I really get busy. I can get busy. And when I dropped that,
shows?
Yeah. Now,
okay.
But back then, nah, bro. Like I was.
Yeah, I feel real disrespected. Someone walked up to me and said, "You can't rap."
Yeah, like nah, because it's like how you be having a conversation, and I don't really like to tell people I rap. Like that's not really my get down. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
So like, if it's not like on some music shit, or we aren't in an arena of music, so I'm not just gonna tell you I rap. Like, oh yeah, I rap, because you always get those type of people that's like, oh, you rap? Well, let me hear something.
Right.
And it's like, bro, I'm not here for your entertainment. Like, I'm not just trying to prove myself to you. You feel me? Like,
I feel like that's a listen though. Be like, check it out on Apple Music or whatever. Spotify.
Yeah. But for me, like back then, it just used to get on my nerves because I kicked it with nothing but rappers. You know what I'm saying? So like, if my man rap and my man and you've heard of me, obviously, because I'm featured on my man's shit. But then it's like, oh, let me hear something. Like I felt disrespected by that. You know what I'm saying? So at that point in time,
clown to you, like
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm here to entertain you, bro. I'm a court jester or some shit. So
I'd imagine you probably got multiple different circles, like being in the suburbs and moving around.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like, did you have any like favorite white rappers?
White rappers,
Yeah.
man. Of course, you gotta put Marshall in there, man. You gotta put Eminem up there, bro. Like
Okay.
you gotta put Eminem up there because that's really like the syllable god. Like to me,
Mm.
That's true.
I don't think anybody else can put words together the way that he can put words together. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you're
White
right.
or black, like to be real. But it's the fact that he's white that's just like, man, how is your thought process like that? Like, how did you rhyme orange? Like, that's a word that doesn't rhyme with shit. You feel me? Like, so
Yeah.
Eminem is up there.
What he rhyme orange with?
Uh, he said, I'm dumb enough to walk in the store and steal because I stand out like a green hat with an orange bill. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Storing orange. Okay.
you know what I'm saying? It doesn't
Oh,
That's hard.
necessarily rhyme, but the way that he put the syllables together, it rhymed. And that's
yeah.
genius to me. Cause it's
No, for
like,
sure.
you know what I'm saying? Silver doesn't rhyme with shit. Purple doesn't rhyme with shit. But he was rhyming words like that. So, you know, that's Eminem for sure. Who else? Who else? White.
Ain't
Man,
many.
it's
Yeah.
not. It's not. And if we talking about like influence, bro, then you gotta throw Paul Wall in there.
Hard. Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
hard. I fuck with Paul Wall. You know,
I fuck
crazy.
with Mac Miller.
Mac Miller was crazy too. Mac Miller was crazy. I liked Yellow Wolf when Yellow Wolf wasn't on no bullshit. I fucked with him
I never
as
got into
well.
him. He was on that country kind of rapper.
Yeah, but like before that, like you know how some of them, you know, and I mean
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Some of them will kind of just use our culture to kind of catapult their own agenda.
Post
So I
Malone.
feel like that's where I really kind of stopped fucking with him because it was like he was on some trap shit originally.
Yeah, Pop That Trunk or whatever
And
that
yeah,
song
you
was
remember
called.
you remember
Yeah, I
that?
remember.
You know
No,
what I'm
that shit
saying?
was
Your
hard,
daddy's
yeah.
caddy and all that. All that
Yeah.
shit was hard. Like that
Mhm.
shit was hard. And then it was like now you kind of want to move on over to this other shit.
You gotta relax on Posty though.
Post Malone did the same damn
You
thing.
gotta
He
relax.
did. He did. He did.
I don't know about
He
all that.
did. He did. I mean, bro is he's a star, bro. Like, don't let me say nothing about that. But if you think about, man, you got White Iverson and you got the rest of that shit, then once you get comfortable or you gain your notoriety, then you want to try to slip this
Right. Now
other
you want
shit
to do
in.
acoustic and shit.
Yeah,
Like, come on,
yeah.
man.
And I mean, cool, bro. Art is subjective, bro. Like, don't let me say that. You know, I'm not here to interpret what your art is, but you know what I'm saying? You built your fan base or you did your climb to fame on our backs, and then you gonna not make that same type of music.
Mhm.
I don't know, fam. You know,
So when you're thinking about your music and the beat selection that you choose, where does that come from?
everywhere, bro. Like everywhere. And to be totally honest with you, bro, like for me, if I'm left to my own devices, I wouldn't be rhyming on half of the shit that y'all heard. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like
saw the flip of Kanye West song from My
yeah,
Beautiful
yeah,
Dark
yeah,
Twisted Fantasy.
Off Devil in a Blue Dress. Yeah, that was another record that was EP by M16 the Great. You know,
Okay.
like
Man,
I'm
shout
more
out
of a
M16,
yeah, man. That's my dog, man. That's my
Yeah.
brother. You know what
On
I'm
the
saying?
Orthodox, he made that too.
He didn't make that. Nah, he hasn't. He doesn't make beats, but he kind of just found it. You know, so
Okay.
Unorthodox, he found that, and that kind of just snuck on to that record. You know, like that was one of the last records I made. But when he
Yeah, that
when
was
he
real
hit me-
different compared to like the rest of it. I was like,
right.
I was
But
like,
it's
this was different.
it's a strategy. It's a strategy behind that. You know what I'm saying? So like when he presented the record, he was like, "Bro, you got to do this." Before I even heard it, he was like, "Bro, you have to do this." And I heard it, and as soon as I heard it, I wrote it like instantly. Sent it back. He was like, "Yeah, we got to record this." And when we recorded it, it was like, "Bro, we got to put this at the end." Like, to make it make sense is like, yo, all right, I did all that. Like I did that lovey-dovey, I did that heartbreak shit, but now it's time to get back to yourself and get back to your true element. You know what I'm saying? So that was the whole point behind that. But in between me and 16, that's where kind of the beat selection comes from. But
Okay.
bro is always gonna send me some shit that I don't necessarily like or some shit that's gonna challenge me. Versus me, to where, bro, I am more of like a hip hop nigga at heart. You know, like Jay Dilla is my favorite producer.
Yeah,
So it's
man.
like
One of mine too.
Yeah. So it's always gonna be something in the realm of that versus him, to where he's gonna send me records that are, that'll kind of be a little bit more big or a little bit more broadening, you know? So, you know, made like with Major Moves and Love Is, all those records came from 16. And I argued, like, bro, this ain't even me. Like, I'm not even that type of rapper. But he like, bro, just challenge yourself. And the records that I really challenge myself on are like my most streamed records, you know.
That's real interesting too, cause like you ain't even really want to do this shit. You know?
Nah. Like, bro, when it came to Love
Yeah, I
Is, bro,
fuck with it.
I'm gonna be real. Like, I hated that beat. I hated it. And he was like, bro, just do it. I wrote that record in probably like 10 minutes.
Damn.
And I was like, man, this shit, man, ain't nobody gonna fuck with this shit. And lo and behold, man, that's one of my biggest records.
Damn, man. That's really some crazy shit. Let's kind of talk about like, so even recording, because like you said, you wrote it in 10 minutes. So do you write pen and paper? You type it in?
Yeah, I'm more of a phone guy. But my first record, before I forget, I wrote everything on paper.
For real? Okay.
Everything on paper. Like, I really had to write that down and solidify that and make that real before I could go back to my phone. Like, that was my process on the first record.
So you just kind of trying to get acclimated back into like the process.
Yeah, man. The first record is literally that. Like, I'm getting back to it. Like, I'm rusty. I feel some type of way. I don't know. I'm unsure. You know. So I wrote everything down on paper, bro. I was literally in the studio just thumbing through shit.
Damn, man, that's crazy. And I kind of talk about like the actual recording too. Like, so what you need? Like, what's the studio environment? Like, you need the drinks, the smoke. Like,
It sounds like
the
you need some
ladies?
water.
Nah, yeah, that's it. That's
Okay.
it. Like,
Some good
my
alkaline.
creative is a my creative is a sober creative. So like, I don't need to drink, I don't need to smoke, I don't need to do none of that. Like, let me just get in, let me lock in. And my relationship with the engineer is important. Like, that particular person has to really understand my process. And shout
How
out
many
to Mike
people you
West.
working with,
Engineers wise, or what do you mean?
engineer wise?
One engineer.
Okay.
One engineer, Mike West, man. 16 also plugged me with him. My first session with Mike, he just understood. He understood everything. Like, all right, bro, okay, this is the best vocal chain for you. Are we gonna do drops here? We gonna do this? Like, he's a genius in his own right as well. He's a genius in that itself, because like, he'll bring to life certain elements of the record that I would have never even thought. So like, certain drops or the way that certain records start, that's all him. That's all his brain. So, you know, that's it, bro. Like,
Have you ever tried to like do that process yourself, like recording and making beats and stuff like that, or has that never just been like in your realm of thinking?
Man, currently at this point in time, like, I feel like that's something that I need to know, as far as at least just basic shit of how to record myself. So I'm doing certain research to try to do that, but I still feel like not everybody is supposed to do everything, you know? So I don't mind outsourcing another brain in order to get the best product. But yes, I definitely have beats. That's not really my wheelhouse. That's more so my brother. So I kind of leave that to him, and that's that. But as far as engineering, yeah, I kind of have tried to dabble a few times, and I'm still doing research to learn.
And kind of talk about like networking and stuff like that with other artists and producers, and I guess you already got your engineer, but other musical people like in the IE area and LA area. Like, what is that like? Is it positive, negative for you?
I mean, it's what I will say in reference to that, bro, is it's like everywhere. You know, it's kind of, I equate it to like lunch tables in high school. You know, like, sometimes you can sit here, sometimes you can't. It really just depends on what you know, who you know. So for me, it's not really that hard, because the IE is very close knit. And at this point in the game, like, everybody fuck with everybody. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, production, producers, MCs, it's not really hard to reach people. And LA is
You
the
hate that shit,
same.
don't you?
Huh?
You hate that
You
shit.
said
Like,
I hate
that
what,
everybody,
networking?
no, that everybody fuck with everyone. Like, there's
Nah, I
there's
don't.
no
I don't
hate,
because
no beef.
because for a long time, it wasn't that way. You know, it was a lot of division, especially in the IE. The IE is small. I mean, it's a small place as far as when it comes to music. You know what I'm saying? So there was a lot of division amongst us, and I felt like that shit made us look stupid as fuck, because LA already don't fuck with us already. You know what I'm saying? So they already, you know, think that they better or whatever it is. Are we trying to jock them? And that's not even where we at. But at that time, like in '09, you know, 2010, 2012, wasn't nobody really fucking with nobody. Like everybody had their own crew, and that was that. But now it's like, all right, well, yeah, I still got my crew, but I fuck with somebody from your crew, or you fuck with a producer from mine, whatever, and we'll end up on records doing shit together. So it's a lot of unity now,
See,
and I fuck with
I
that.
don't really know that whole story there. What's the difference between an IE rapper and an LA rapper?
So man, it's how can I put it? The Inland Empire, like I said, we're like 45 minutes away from them.
Right.
LA is a big place as well. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same situation as it is in the IE. You got different sections that fuck with different sections. They don't really fuck with each other or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Then you got
Okay.
core dudes from all of these sections that kind of fuck with each other. That's kind of putting the bridge together. But for a long time, bro, like the IE, niggas didn't want to claim that they was from the IE. So it's a lot of quote unquote LA rappers that are really from the IE, but because we aren't even unified here to where we don't even have a sound. We just niggas from the IE. And that's how niggas was approaching shit until, up to recently. So, it's still
Who's
a
the
fight
top
though.
IE rapper though? Like, who would you say that came from there?
Scoop Ellington. What you
Yeah,
talking
man,
about?
you got, you know what I'm saying? Nah, who can I really say? I mean, yeah, I'm always say me, but as far as somebody that y'all would know, that was really claiming, like, all right, I'm gonna say the biggest person from the IE right now is Hit Boy. You know,
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
he's from Fontana. He's from Fontana, so that's probably the biggest name that has really done some shit from the IE, and he's still claiming the IE, But you got other artists. I don't want to put other artists out there that did the flip flop, but
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Hit Boy, and Hit Boy Associates. I definitely would say that was probably the biggest artist.
Yeah, that's the only
From
one you
the
really
IE.
need a name, really.
Yeah,
Big
like,
enough.
and bro, like,
Yeah.
man, he got Nas a Grammy. He got Nas a
Yeah,
Grammy.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
He
So
was waiting
shout
on
outs
that
to
one.
Hit Boy. Yeah, for a long time, bro, for
Yeah.
forever. So it took a nigga from the IE to get that man a Grammy. You know what I'm saying? So big ups to the town. You feel me?
I think it put a fire under him.
Yeah,
Once he got
yeah,
that first Grammy, he was like, "Word."
yeah. Nah,
Which is
man,
actually ridiculous that he never got a Grammy before in his life.
man.
Is
That's
it
the real
ridiculous?
That is ridiculous. Hell yeah, it's ridiculous. What are you saying?
That's Nasir Jones. What
Yeah,
you talking
what?
Okay.
What? Yeah, that's
I
Nas,
mean,
bro.
yeah, there's a lot of other rappers who make good music though.
I mean, yeah, but they probably got Grammys as well.
Yeah, J. Do got some Grammys.
He got multiple Grammys, bro. He
Yeah.
got a room full of Grammys. Like,
For sure.
you feel me?
Wait, did Snoop have a Grammy?
He
Nope.
definitely should have got off the first
Nope.
one.
Damn, man.
Illmatic should have got the Grammy, but
For sure. To be 19 talking that type of shit, bro,
Yeah.
like, come on, man. Come on, bro.
but who's doing that this day and age though?
Talking crazy
No,
shit.
there's no young artist who's getting a really like a Grammy.
I think
Unless you're like Billie Eilish or some shit. Like,
No, don't I think don't Roddy Ricch got a Grammy?
He might have one. I don't know.
I think Roddy Ricch got a Grammy. I think Roddy Ricch was somebody that really just came out the gate and just nigga went from one thing to a fucking planet. You know what I'm saying? So I think bro got a Grammy for sure.
It's a DJ Mustard effect. It got to be.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Mustard.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's kind of talk about, because you had mentioned like you had said some years earlier. You said like 09 to 2012, and like you was talking about LA music or just like Cali music in general. And I was thinking like, damn, like around that time, there really wasn't a lot of like popping like Cali artists just in the whole atmosphere. You know what I mean? So kind of like talk about what was that time like? Like what was y'all even like? Was it J Rock? Was it Kendrick? Like what was it?
I mean, it's crazy that you say that, because it's like, for it to be like regional, it was a time, bro. Like
yeah, sure.
09, 2010, 2011. Like, I feel like with just the LA music scene, it was crazy. Like, it was crazy. Now, I might have had a different experience from you, because where you from?
I'm from Michigan.
You from Michigan? Okay,
Yeah.
so you from Detroit, or you Michigan out there that way?
Yeah, right outside Detroit. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So like around that time, you got to think, bro. Big Sean kind of was coming up. You know what I'm saying? And that was a pretty big artist. I'm sure that was a pretty big artist for y'all,
For
right?
sure. Yeah.
So you got to think, bro, like in 2000, I say 2010, 2011, that was probably like really a golden era for that point in time because you had Kendrick and you had all the TDE emerging at that point in time. You had Fly Union from Ohio. I don't know if you know about them, but they was crazy. You had Dom Kennedy coming out. Then of course
Oh,
you
Dom,
had
yeah.
yeah,
I'm
you had
tripping.
Dom Kennedy, nigga. This
Yeah.
is 2000. This 2010.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had
Pac Div was
Pac
Pac.
man from
Mm-hmm.
AV,
Mm-hmm.
Pac Div. Who else? And of course, like Big Crit started coming. Wiz was going crazy at that point in time. So it was kind of like, but all that was kind of centralized music for the LA scene because everybody was out here. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
it was a good time, bro. Like it was for us. We kind of had an identity at that point because niggas was sleeping on us for a minute, because after Snoop and them did their thing, then shit went to Atlanta, and
True.
was in Atlanta for a hot little minute, and niggas was just kind
Man.
of trying to jock that sound. Everybody was trying to jock that sound, you know. So yeah, man, I think it was a great time. It was a great time for LA.
And that's the interesting thing though, because like you said, that time between Snoop and K Dot and all them, like 2010 and like 96 to 2010, like it's just real. It's a real interesting period. Like y'all
Yeah,
had the game, like the
for
game
sure.
was hot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, you gotta attest that like that's a part of 50.
True.
That's a part of that formula. So it was like, it took for that to have a East Coast nigga, you know what I'm saying? Have our machine behind it for it to blend. But I
Mm-hmm.
think that's beautiful, bro. Like coming off of that East Coast, West Coast shit, and then you got Dre, because he tried to do it before with the fucking Firm, and
Mm-hmm.
that really didn't work out for him.
Nah.
So he had another chance, and 50 was, man, that was just out of this world, bro. Like, to come out the gate swinging like that, and then to have a run from what, 03 to like 06,
Yeah,
oh
maybe oh six, oh
07.
seven.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? But to really have this shit on smash like that, crazy.
So bringing that all this back to the present time
Yes, sir.
and what you're doing with your career, your music. I noticed that your videos are from 2021, and that was off your last project.
Yeah,
So I gotta imagine you're thinking some different ideas for this project.
absolutely, bro. Absolutely. So I got a lot more visuals to execute this year. I still got to push both of these albums because I feel like I ain't really pushed them the way that I need to push them. So yeah, we got, me and the team. We got some things that we got in the works as of right now, man. A lot more visuals. You're gonna see a lot more from me, this year for sure.
So who shoots your videos?
Man, shout outs to my guy, man, Alpha Films. My dog Julio Alpha. That's another genius,
He
man. I,
from the
I feel like
IE?
yeah. Yo, he's from, well, yeah, he's from the IE. Yeah, I was about to really disrespect y'all. My bad, y'all. But yeah, he's from the IE. He's definitely from
That's
the
what's
IE,
up.
man. Yeah, man. But a genius, man. Another genius. Another little puzzle piece that I needed to collect in order to kind of further progress. Because that's one person that, again, he can take a general idea and just make it 10 times better.
So when you're coming up these videos, I imagine it's a team effort, just like
Yeah.
everything it seems that you do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what about location? How does that like come up?
It's all, man. No plans, all vibes, bro. Like that's really all how I can describe that. No plans, all vibes. Sometimes it'll be like, all right, well, I seen this dope place. All right, let's go. Let's go scout it real quick. Okay. Well, shit, we could have 6 scenes here. All right, we got those knocked out. So then it would be like, oh, well, shit, I think that you should add this in here. It's a cohesive effort. Everybody has
Yeah.
input, and all input is considered. 1,000%. Like even for like the Love Is video, I have like 5 versions of that video.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, like a lot of shit came through like in the 25th hour. Like all that beat shit, like that wasn't in there before. It was a whole other scenes. You know what I'm saying? And then we decided to go to the beach at 6 a.m. one day on like a Tuesday and just shoot. and it came
Yeah.
out like the best, you know.
Hmm.
So it's really just cohesive efforts, man. We really review over here, you know.
Did you?
We really
So
are
was
very
that like
strategic.
was that your man's first video, like working with you, or they do videos in the
Nah,
past?
Alpha has actually done both my videos. So he did Major Moves and he did Love Is. So like
Okay.
when he did Major Moves first, that was
And
like
he
our
did
first
work. He
time.
did work before that.
Oh yeah,
Before he
yeah.
did you.
Like
Oh,
this
okay.
this is a guy that's, you know, he's
He was
done
seasoned.
videos. Yeah, like I mean he's done a lot of work for different artists. But I feel like personally, and I don't know if he'll attest to this or not, but I feel like we probably make the best work together because I give him more creative control or I challenge him more than anybody else. Because everybody else is just like, all right, yeah, let's just point the camera, let's do this. All
Yeah.
right, dope background, throw it up.
Pull the
But
guns
I'm
out.
yeah, but I'm like, bro, nah, like nigga, we need to do some dialogue here. I want this to be a derivative of this. How can we try to make this the best that we could possibly make it? So I'm challenging him just like, you know, I'm being challenged.
So Matt had brought up, like, when we were discussing this interview and everything before, and then one of your songs, like, your look is a beanie and glasses.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah,
like
yeah.
is that like he was like,
Yeah.
is that like a IE look? Is that like,
Nah,
where's
nah,
that come
nah.
from?
Nah, it's really I really just do it. I wear glasses on a regular basis. So one day I just threw on one of these beanies and just was like, yeah, I like that. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? But like it's not always my look. And I hate low key that I said it on a record because
That's why I said
everybody
it. Yeah.
everybody kind of expects me to always have, like if I
Yeah.
don't have a beanie on, they be like, bro, where your beanie at? And it's like,
For the
bro,
listeners, he is wearing a
yeah.
beanie in his
I am
glasses
I
right
am
now.
wearing a beanie and glasses right now, currently. You know, I know y'all can't see this, but yes, I do have
Yeah.
a beanie and glasses on. But no, it's really it's really like something that I liked at one point, and I kind of just do it. But I hate that people expect it because it's not really like a uniform. I'm not a cartoon character, you know.
Exactly.
I thought that's what you're going for. Maybe it's like a style or
Nah. It's something that I like. You know, sometimes I don't got my hair cut, so just throw on a beanie real quick and call it a day. You know, just get to it.
No, because the reason I brought it up was because I'm like, damn, I didn't even know niggas in Cali wore beanies like that. Because I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
I seen E40 wear them before, but I'm like, it's not even like cold like that,
yeah,
you
yeah. I
know?
mean, for us as right now, like currently, it is cold for
Oh, for
us.
real? Okay,
You know what I'm
okay.
saying? Like it's been raining a lot. You know what I'm saying? So like, but yeah, niggas wear beanies on a regular basis. Like this is really like it's not a Cali staple. I'm sure that we've adopted this from somewhere else, but yeah, the beanie is for sure getting rocked 1,000%.
yeah.
Like if
They
you
probably
ever
got
went
that
to
like at
LA,
every gas station.
you said what?
They probably got that at every gas station.
Yeah, beanie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, probably. But yeah, even if it's like 80, you gonna see somebody rocking a beanie because it's not really about being warm. It's kind of just a style.
It's a style, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
you
that
know.
makes sense. Okay, that's good to know. Good to know. So let's kind of close it out here, man. I just kind of want to talk about, we done talked about your whole career so far and stuff like that. I just kind of want to see, like, from your perspective, from back in 2012, you was doing it, and back to like right now when you got everything going on. Like, what do you feel is like the pros and the cons of being a rapper, or just even just that title? Like, do you feel like there's pros and cons to it, and what are they?
Um, for real, like I feel like the pro about it is, at least for me, is this is my form of therapy. This is something that I would do even if I wasn't trying to actually get out there, you know. So that is the pro. The con of it is constant like discouragement, you know, to especially being at the age that I'm at, you know what I'm saying? Some people would be like, bro, you still trying to rap, or you know, you still trying to get into this industry and it
Yeah.
might be too late. And you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of stress behind it. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? So like that in itself, you gotta kind of just keep pushing past it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's really subjective. How I actually look at it is, no matter what age I am, there's also gonna be a million other people at that age that'll relate to exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So that kind of keeps me from jumping off the ledge. You know what I'm saying? From jumping out the window, because it's like, bro, it don't matter at this point, you know. But it's a hard thing, bro. It becomes harder and harder the older and older you get because you got other responsibilities. You know, you got kids, you got jobs, you got girls, whatever it is that you really got to focus on as well. So I feel like that's a con because you don't have the time that you always had when you wasn't really doing that type of thing. So
No, that definitely makes sense. And so let's kind of talk about just, to wrap it up. So anything that you want to talk about or that you can reveal that you got coming up, any projects, videos that you got,
man,
or
yeah,
even shows.
Yeah, shows too. Yeah.
We got some things in the tuck, man. We got some things in the tuck. More visuals. I'm gonna be rapping a lot more this year. You know, y'all gonna see a lot more of me. I'm doing a lot of different shows. I got some shows lined up. I think in March I'm gonna go on a little college run.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll be at
That's dope.
some Cal States out here. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely gonna make the push for sure, man. But that's really it, man. Scoop Ellington everywhere. You know, it sounds
You
exactly how it
dance?
look. You feel? You said what?
You dance?
Do I dance?
Yeah.
What
Nah.
kind of question is that?
Yeah, that's
No, I'm
kinda,
saying because I'm saying like performing. I'm like some niggas might be a different type of performance. Like he dancing and rapping. Like
nah. I'm not one of them. I'm not one of them. Not at all. I mean, I can dance. You know what I'm saying? I could cut a rug a bit, but
Okay.
nah, I'm not one of them. You know,
No Soldier Boy type shit.
Houdini type motherfuckers.
Yeah, one of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even Dr. Dre. Like that's crazy. Even we was talking about West Coast shit. Like looking at that picture of Dr. Dre.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Wrecking Crew. Yeah, like that shit's crazy.
I don't know. I kind of hate. I hate how rappers. Only thing they do is just nod their head and just wave the mic around. It's like sometimes like I wouldn't mind like a rapper performance sometimes. Like
yeah, like I mean, it really
shit.
just depends. It really just depends on what type of shit you on. You know what I'm saying? Like if it calls for that, maybe you might dance. Maybe you not. You know what I'm saying? But it's really all about relating to the people and
Like
how
Tyler,
to
the
be
Creator.
a real MC. You know, like yeah, Tyler is a great performer to me. You know what I'm saying? Like it's never a dull moment. But then you got somebody, because if you think about like a Jay-Z or a Nas, you know what I'm saying? Like especially Hove in itself, like bro doesn't have to do too much because he just commands so much attention. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I kind of strive to be in that vein of that. You know, like I don't gotta do too much.
I guess
extra shit.
I see you more in like a Kendrick vein, like more artistic and
I feel you.
storytelling.
I feel you.
Like you have backgrounds. You say you want to be cinematic.
Absolutely.
Like the visuals and the people around you, I feel like it makes sense to the story on stage.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So that's really where I'm at, man. I take that as a compliment. You know, I'm always compared to that vein. You know, Kendrick.
Yeah, I had to
and
put up there
Cole
to the
and-
greats.
Yeah, man. You know, Nas is my favorite rapper. So you know, as far as the storytelling, that's where it comes from.
Okay. And then if your word's good enough, you really don't got to dance, and you definitely got the lyrics for that. So like, you don't even need to sit up there and cut a rug for real.
Yeah,
if you like.
Nah.
But yeah, man, that's 2023 gonna be a great year for Scoop Ellington, man. So we definitely appreciate you for coming through. You know, kind of talking about your story and everything like that. So, like you said, the Scoop Ellington on all platforms.
Yep, Scoop_Ellington. It sound exactly how it look. It look exactly how it sound. Follow me everywhere, man. We gonna do a lot more this year, man. A whole lot more. We got 2 projects or 3 projects on all streaming platforms right now. Same thing, Scoop Ellington, not the underscore, but yeah, man. You know, we just out here, man, trying to do it, trying to make that push.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Everybody, go ahead and follow him, check him out, check his music out, his videos, all that cool shit.
Yeah, don't be a stranger.
Man, always, man. I appreciate y'all for having me for real. Like, man,
Yeah,
it's a great opportunity, man. I had a great time talking to y'all for sure.
Most
Definitely gonna have to spin the block again for sure.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we appreciate you for coming through, Scoop. But we're about to get out of here, man. This has been the Friends Podcast, man. Thank you for listening. We out.
Yep, peace and love.
There it is.